Hi, my name is Nicole Poole. I'm a senior cellular and molecular biology major, and I'm here to present my personal growth and exploration over my time at Con on racial disparities perpetrated by society, specifically looking at chronic stress on minority health outcomes. My public health story begins as a suburban kid from Massachusetts. I graduated high school with a bunch of kids very similar to myself and came from a really small town. I arrived at Connecticut College with tunnel vision, ready to succeed in my pre-medical career and propel myself straight into medical school. My pathway, though, allowed me to design my own integrative course load where I could explore my question. I took courses such as Public Health 201 and Medical Anthropology that were immensely important in developing my understanding of race, stress, and health. In Public Health 201, I watched a video called In Sickness and in Wealth and was struck by the staggering statistics that relate that chronic stress does increase your chance of premature death. I also saw that those in minority statuses were more likely to experience work, family, and financial stress, which leads to less time and less resources to cope with your stress, further causing detrimental comorbidities such as obesity, high blood pressure, and cardiovascular disease. Medical anthropology furthered my exploration by devoting my time towards my own portfolio, analyzing the effects of stress on health from an anthropological lens regarding the institutional racism towards African Americans and resulting stress outcomes. Not only do African Americans deal with similar stress to other groups, but the added stress of racism unfairly increases their stress levels and adds to risk of severe medical problems. After these courses, I felt my lens start to shift as I connected my biological interests to the human side of the world and the reality that poor health outcomes are not distributed equally amongst different races. I had my internship as a liaison in the emergency room at Good Samaritan Medical Center in Brockton, Massachusetts, an area that was more diverse and low socioeconomic status community that was very different from my hometown. One day I came across a man and he was sitting alone, so I sat and talked with him where he told me that he usually didn't come to the emergency room and feared coming here because he did not think that the doctors would believe in his pain and would assume he was seeking pain medication. He also said that he seldom went to the doctors due to this mistrust, along with the fact that he could not even afford to miss a day of work. While my intervention with him did allow some successful outcomes, the interaction reminded me that the fear and distrust of doctors by minorities is not uncommon. Discrimination, bias, and stereotyping make getting holistic and equitable health difficult. Minorities endure an unfair amount of stress in the hospital settings, which make them not want to come in and seldom go get help that they need. This year, we have been hit with a global pandemic. COVID-19 has hit all of us hard, but COVID-19 has also exposed the racial injustices in our society that have always been there. One line from this series called COVID Reckonings that we watched in Public Health 401 has been replaying in my head. "We are just tired," was stated multiple times by African Americans in the video. Tired of having to explain the bias, the stereotypes, and the disproportionate number of African Americans diagnosed with COVID-19 amongst other severe medical outcomes. Tired of no one listening and nothing changing. I draw your attention to the middle diagram. African Americans have exposure to stress just like everyone else, but African Americans also have more vulnerabilities due to institutional racism, stereotyping in the medical community, and on top of that tend to have the least amount of resources and support in the community. This directly leads to psychological and physiological stress and poor health habits. This then causes other poor health issues such as illnesses and early mortality. Imagine the decreased risk African Americans would be at if they did not have to fear physician judgment or being taken seriously in their community. Imagine the improvement in African American health outcomes if they were simply treated the way all people rightfully deserve. So where am I at now with this question? The disproportionate amount of stress in African American lives leading to poor health outcomes is clear. Do I have a solution to racism? Unfortunately not. However, as someone who hopes to go to medical school and become a physician, I'm in a pivotal position for my future. I have a duty towards cultural competence and understanding groups unlike myself. This translates to my responsibility to stand up against injustices in the health system that may break our oath. In addition, my platform will give me the ability to work with those who have been wronged by discrimination and engage in open and honest relationships to provide support and allyship to those I serve. To aid in creating this medical community, I have used my time at Con to use this to make myself a better leader for the future. I would like to end by thanking Professor Grossel, all my other professors, Good Samaritan Medical Center, and the Connecticut College community for giving me the opportunity to present my findings and helping develop me into a well-rounded leader for the future. Thank you.